Yo, we back reacting to Low Post again. Apparently, Skip Bayless, Drip Bayless said some more crazy shit. So let's tap in.
So Skip Bayless's run is finally over, ladies and gentlemen. For those who do not know, Skip Bayless, who has been probably one of the biggest face of like sports media over the past 20 years. He made a name for himself in ESPN, transitioned to Fox Sports, and throughout that 20-year tenure, basically, the level of just nasty narratives that are being pushed were just egregious. But thank God it's actually coming to a conclusion because he and Fox were not able to find themselves on the same page on how much money he was supposed to get paid with his contract extension, and he's deciding to move on a different direction with his own opportunities. Now, why you may be wondering, how is it possible that one of the biggest faces in all the sports media can't get on the same page with Fox? Like, are they not going to give him the bag? Of course not. The show is irrelevant now. Undisputed, the face of Fox that's supposed to be the franchise player, Skip Bayless. Guess what? After Shannon Sharpe, who was actually carrying the show, left, the ratings started to plummet. This is something that many people have been talking about for the past 5 months as it slowly declined below 100,000. But I don't think people thoroughly understand how bad it was recently. Fox was literally running after black athlete after black athlete after black athlete, or really just any black person to put alongside Skip Bayless. Actually, I think Drewski was on there one episode. Really, really desperate. And for those of you who don't know how bad it is, you can clearly see here a couple of spikes here and there, and these are all like around the NFL playoffs, but it slowly started to climb below 100,000. And there is actually a day, like a month ago, June 12th, where the audience was 35,000. 35,000. Again, be very mindful, like, bro, back in 2023, this was consistently over 100,000. Really consistently over 100,000. We're talking about losing a third of your audience, if not more, within a year's time. Wowzers. Now, for those who are trying to figure out what he's going to do, don't you dare worry, Skip Bayless. He has his own show on YouTube, so thank goodness we're going to get more of that.
This is the Skip Bayless Show, episode
Bayless
1, 2, 3, because there's only 123. I'm talking about the one and only, the original Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Yo, whoa. Bro, pause. That was crazy. But yeah, don't ever do that shit again, bro. That was weird. But nah, I'm not gonna lie. Skip is a max tier glazer. Max tier Michael Jordan glazer. Like, I've never seen, like, mind you, I'm a LeBron fan, so I be rooting for LeBron. Wherever Bron go, I'm following Bron to that team. But like, Skip be on a different level. Like, he ready to put down any other player just to make sure Michael Jordan's up there. Like, he'll put down all other players just to put MJ up. Like, that's kind of crazy, bro. Like, he be glazing Michael Jordan, bro. That shit is nasty.
Damn, my nigga, you're 70 plus. Get Michael Jordan's dick out of your... God damn. You start off episodes like that? But let's see. Maybe it gets better. Maybe there's something else that you have worthwhile talking about.
But before I proceed, a quick guest cameo from my daughter, Hazel. She wanted to say hi today. She happened to be in the neighborhood. Say hi. Look pretty today. She looks very pretty. Thank you, Hazel.
This nigga is boring if there's not a black man beside him. I'm going to just say it right now. Yo, Skip, you're boring if there's not a black man beside you to make you entertaining. I believe that to be the case. Undisputably, undeniably. You're not entertaining unless a black man is standing next to you. Maybe you get in your bag later on after you put down your dog.
And by the way, just a quick aside before I proceed, because my memory got jogged by 1, 2, 3. The one and only.
Chill.
I just get so offended every time I see LeBron do the pregame powder toss. I was most offended watching the Olympics, the first 2 games. He does it at the Olympics. It just seems wrong. He stole it from the one and only 23.
Nope. You just went right back to sucking off LeBron because that's basically being your rendition for your entire career, especially when you got famous.
If you have a child, 12 or older, and you like to get into the best university possible, I have something very important to tell you. You see, stop leaving.
Wiping his
So what I decided to do instead of watching that old ass, tired ass version of Skip Bayless, go back in his peak, his prime, man, and react to some of his greatest takes. Why not? Especially since we ain't gonna hear from this nigga no more.
Is LeBron James a first ballot Hall of Famer right now?
Without question.
It's nothing to even think about. It's one of the greatest players to have ever played the game.
Okay, my first problem with this question before I get to you, Stephen A. Smith, is that, I think that Tiago Splitter is already a first ballot Hall of Famer in the Basketball Hall of Fame because everybody gets in. I think Chris is going to get in due time. Stephen A. Smith will get in due time. Maybe. That's a big maybe. But I can't respect the criteria for getting into the Basketball Hall of Fame the way I can the Baseball and the Football Hall of Fame. So if I'm judging by those standards, the baseball and football standards, there is no way that LeBron James is already a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Man, that's a great way to answer a question that you didn't get asked. Thank goodness
no cap, bro. We was not
his
talking
own
about
question instead of actually asking the question
bro.
that was prompted to him just so he could then shit on LeBron. Man, Skip Bayless, I promise you, Skip Bayless, Hall of Fame goalpost mover. Oh my God, the moves that he had to just redirect and deflect the question into something else that he wanted to talk about is ridiculous. Mind you, bro, ESPN, they have like pre-show meetings where they just sit there and they talk about what they're about to discuss all throughout the show. For Skip Bayless to be like, fuck that, bro. I just talk about whatever I want to talk about. It's crazy.
He was a disaster in the fourth quarter of that game. A disaster.
Okay, we're going to leave it right
I watched it with these two lazy, repaired eyes.
27, 19,
oh,
and 10.
please.
How was that awful?
I watched. You know what happened in that fourth quarter.
In what world?
Saying that LeBron, by the time he got to Miami, wasn't a first ballot Hall of Famer is ridiculous, especially if you're trying to compare him to the standard of just a player who made the Hall of Fame. Again, it doesn't have to be as great as Michael Jordan. It doesn't have to be literally one of the greatest peak players of all time. It would be like top 10. But at that time, I don't even know when they recorded that or when that show's aired. Bro, at bare minimum, LeBron already had 2 MVPs. He already had made probably at least 2 finals appearances at bare minimum. He didn't have to win a championship. Karl Malone didn't win a championship. John Stockton didn't win a championship. Those players were in the Hall of Fame. To sit here and say at any point that LeBron was not a first ballot Hall of Famer by the time he got to Miami is dumb. It's just dumb. Dumbest thing I ever heard. But hey, man, gets better.
Nobody who could be in the MVP conversation can get away with just taking a back seat in the fourth quarter to the other guy on his team. The MVP of the Cavs is this guy. It's Kyrie Irving. I would hate to see what would happen to LeBron without Kyrie right now because they might be closer to that team you were describing when Kyrie was there. I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Jesus Christ. A MVP caliber player can't take a back seat to somebody else on their team. But Shaq did that. Kareem did that with Magic Johnson and James Worthy as well. And he won an MVP. Like there's several players. Giannis had took a back seat to several players alongside the Ronda, in particular Chris Middleton, down the stretch of games. And he won 2 MVPs. Jokic sometimes take a back seat to Jamal Murray. He has 3 MVPs. Like this idea that you can't take a back seat to another player on your team who may just be a better shot creator than you, especially if you need a 3-pointer. Like, what are you even discussing? That's dumb. Dumb as hell. As a sidebar, there are plenty of games in Michael Jordan's career where Scottie Pippen came through the clutch and bailed him out a little bit. But, God forbid anybody talks about that. I'll be honest with you. Listen, a lot of you old heads, you all have gotten a lot of y'all takes from Skip Bayless, especially as I go back and
now I'm about to get my shit off. I'm not going to lie. Michael Jordan, he be getting saved by Scottie. Like, I've seen those little graphics and shit, bro. They be showing a side-by-side comparison of like how many games or like playoff games and stuff like that Michael Jordan has won with or without Scottie Pippen, and it's like significantly more with him, and without him he loses like a lot, bro. He loses like a lot without Scottie. And LeBron, I think with and without, whatever teammate or whatever, I'm pretty sure the numbers, they either don't differ between if he has a good teammate or a bad one, or like, a Hall of Fame teammate or whatever, or without one, or he has more wins than Michael Jordan without, a Hall of Fame teammate or some shit like that. So it's like, I've seen like multiple different formats of that type of like graphic. So it's like, like this dude LeBron does more with less than Michael Jordan. I think that's what makes him better, like overall. Like if you give somebody the blueprint and you tell them, well, all you got to do is go out and do this and you can literally win. and they do it, bro, then they execute it. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan executed on what he was supposed to do. Go out there and score, play defense. That's what he's good at, bro. Scoring and playing defense. He doesn't have to do all of the things that LeBron has to do. LeBron has to micromanage the game for the whole 40 minutes. He has to play point. He has to get rebounds. He has to control the tempo of the game. He has to, like, coach the team, like, not like OD, but on the floor. He's the coach on the floor. He has to also take over the game. He has to play good defense or decent enough defense. Like, he has to pick his spots because he's getting older now. Like, he just has to do a lot. He has to do a lot more than Michael Jordan to win because his teams aren't set up the same way as Michael Jordan, which it just allows Mike to just do what he's best at. With LeBron, bro, because he's so great at everything, and, like, some of these organizations are kind of trash in the way they be doing, like, setting up their teams and shit. He's just asked to do a lot more. And obviously he can do it because he's LeBron James, but it's like, it's kind of not fair. It's not fair to, like, him or whatever, like, that he has to do that much. And on top of that, he still wins. He still wins. Like, that's crazy, bro. 4 championships, and he has to do all of that. Imagine if he had teams structured around him the right way, the correct way for years, bro. We don't know how many championships he would have. Like, he would have a lot, bro. He would have a lot of championships if his team, if, like, certain teams that he was on had good management and, like, from above, had good team management from above or whatever. So they just put the teams around him. Like, the GM only exists because it has to. Like, the GM only exists because it has to exist. For him to get what he needs, he has to be the GM type shit. Because the actual GM isn't going to do it, bro. Like, he does a lot more with less. And that's very impressive, bro. That 2018 run, that's a historic run, bro. Those runs with the Cavs teams, his first stint, historic run. Any team that he goes to, they instantly become, within a 3-year, 2-year span, they instantly become finals contenders for the conference finals and the finals, bro. Win or lose, they're instant contenders, bro. And then after he leaves those teams, Cleveland the first time, Miami, and then Cleveland again when he went to the Lakers, they instantly become bottom feeder teams, it takes them years to get back to. They never get back to where they were at when they had LeBron, but, like, it takes them a while to get back to even, like, making the playoffs or being a good team or even getting back to the finals, bro. Like, the way he's able to impact teams and shit like that is ridiculous. Like, you put him on the team, instant playoff team, instant, like, finals contender and shit like that. Take him off the team, you don't make the playoffs. You probably have a negative record. You're not 500. Like, it's just nasty, bro. That team becomes so ass when you take LeBron off. That's how great he is, bro. No glaze, though. It's just the truth, bro.
Revisit some of his greatest highlights. Y'all got a lot of y'all takes off of a man who literally gaslit the entire NBA community for over 15 years. And y'all sound dumb as hell regurgitating the same thing that this man has been spewing for that long. You are children. Grown men who are children who get on their knees and just sit there, suck off Michael Jordan and disrespect any other player or era of basketball afterwards just so you can get on your knees for your daddy Michael Jordan, bro. Your daddy MJ. And then you let this man get on TV and push that propaganda literally for decades and decades at a time. Actually, let me say this real quick because I have to say this. For those of you who are wondering the reason why I've never reacted to a Skip Bayless take on this channel is because I decided to do the same thing that everybody else now is doing, which is ignoring this old ass. That's what I decided to do. Stop giving him any airtime. time. Stop paying attention to anything he says. I've been ignoring him. I blocked him on Twitter for like 4 or 5 years now because I don't want to hear dumbass rhetoric. Actually, it's been longer. It's probably been 6 years. I don't want to hear dumbass rhetoric, bro. I'm intelligent enough to think for myself and don't need some dumbass on TV telling me about basketball that I've actually seen. But you old heads will allow that man to exist in the space for as long as he did. Crazy. Y'all gonna sit here and tell us that we ain't watch basketball. Shut up, nigga. You ain't watch it either.
Pick your 5.
You ready?
Go ahead.
Okay, I told you, I only need really one player on my team, and that's Michael Jordan. So voila, here's my team. And I'm going to have you read the names for me. Could you read my 4 teammates?
Oh, my.
Now, I will say this. Skip Bayless is a top tier troll. He's a top tier troll.
Yeah,
this is a troll list. Also, a lot of meat riding with Michael Jordan, but a troll list. Also, as a side note, nothing I don't understand. Skip Bayless, unapologetically got on his knees for Michael Jordan. He rolled Michael Jordan. He rolled his meat for so long, and yet no one never really talks about how he's this propaganda pusher for MJ, more so that he just this anti-LeBron figure. And while in the same instance, there's so many people who criticize the media members today about how they love LeBron and this is clutch media and all that other nasty shit. Bro, there's nobody, and I do mean no one, who was taking up airspace who would ever do this for LeBron. Not a single soul. As much as you think Nick Wright might ride LeBron and how much he loved LeBron, he would never even dare do anything like this. Never. Mind you, this nigga was the face of sports media for a good portion of 15 years. Come on.
Look who he's guarding, Skip. He's matched up with Kawhi Leonard. He helped off of Leonard to stop the penetration.
Okay, but he goes out and runs into Ginobili.
He stopped. That's a help and recover play.
Okay.
He stopped him, but his man is Kawhi Leonard.
Okay, I'm with you on that.
Okay, so
but they run together. He runs into Ginobili.
But he's just
but don't give me this Ginobili's going like this. Ginobili's protecting himself too. They run together.
He prevented him from making any play on the shooter.
He's not trying to make a play on the shooter. He's making a play. He's stopping Ginobili from going to the hole.
No, the play is
he's ultimately guarding. He has left his man. He is guarding. He's stopping the drive.
I participated in this kind of defense for 10 years in the NBA.
I've watched it for 30 years.
Help and recover. He wasn't guarding Ginobili. He was
stopping Ginobili.
He was helping to he picks up the penetration and gets to the next part of it is when he passes it, you recover to the shooter.
Just to get a little backstory behind this clip, for days after that game, for those who don't know, Skip Bayless is a Spurs fan, and he was going on this rant and tangent about how the referees hurt the Spurs because they made a bad call, and James Harden was guarding Manu Ginobili. He went on this tangent for days at a time. Nobody challenged him. I don't know why, and it's crazy to me because you would think that a network that has every single clip at their disposal will be able to pull this up within instance. But Tim Legler had to join the show just to then show him hey, yo, what you're saying is wrong. You're factually incorrect, and it's actually pretty damning how bad you are at this because it shows that you don't even know certain common defensive schemes. You just have no idea what you're talking about at all.
I will never forget what number 2 did to me and my San Antonio Spurs. He quit on my Spurs 2 years ago and quit his way right out of San Antonio. But you know what? Maybe it's time to forgive, to let it go, to let it be. Maybe it's time to do what number 2's Uncle Dennis asked me to do at the Manny Pacquiao fight back in August in Las Vegas on behalf of number 2. Uncle Dennis said, why don't you call him by his given name? So you know what? It's time. Here I go. Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard, Kawhi.
And that right there is when I stopped watching Skip Bayless, and that's when I actually decided to block him because he went on this whole arc about Kawhi and hating him, and it resulted in him refusing to call that man by his actual name, even though many people were begging him just to give him some form of respect and call that man by his name, not by his number. And he just refused to because he decided to take it so personal that he just decides to continue to disrespect him for no reason whatsoever. When you get that caught up in fandom, when your whole identity is supposed to be unbiased, is when you just completely lose me. So those right here are some of the greatest hits of Skip Bayless. I will say this as my final words. You will not be missed. There's a reason why I've never reacted to any of your takes on this channel because I felt like the best way to move on from you and allow the NBA space to become better is to ignore you, and deciding to finally take a jog down memory lane and go through some of your worst takes is my final farewell to you, because I hope I never, ever, ever have to ever hear you in this space again, because you have been some of the worst. It's been some of the worst representation of NBA media I have ever seen from anyone. People are going to sit here and tell me how I have to.
Man, good video by the Low Post. My opinion, Skip Bayless is hilarious, but it comes to a point where, like, not everything he says is gonna be funny. So it's either gonna be funny and he's wrong, or he's tripping, or it's gonna be just not funny and just completely wrong, and it's not gonna make any sense on what he's saying, bro. So it's like you can't like you can't be like you don't know what you're talking about and not funny at some points. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta have a balance. You gotta either be funny and know what you're talking about, or just be like funny, or one or the other. But you can't not know what you're talking about, and then in the same vein also not be funny and shit like that. Like, he's just not funny all the time with the shit that he says, because every single time that he's saying something or has a take, it's just a bad take. Like, it's just a bad take, or he's glazing, or just being toxic. Like, yeah, like, he's just going under, and like, I guess we've seen this come. I know for a fact I stopped watching Undisputed after Shannon left. I follow Shannon because I like his personality and shit like that. He knows what he's talking about. You know, other than the fact that he is a Bron fan, I like listening to Shannon and hearing what he has to say and stuff like that. So, yeah, bro, it's just, I guess it was just a matter of time before Undisputed, you know, stop airing and shit, because can't have a show that's built upon two people and one personality of the show leaves, and it was kind of carrying it. Like he said, Shannon was carrying that show. That's the only reason why I was tapping in, just to see Shannon bark against, you know, Skip and like his just terrible rhetoric. You got a LeBron fan and an MJ fan, and they just go back and forth. That's kind of entertaining. But after a while, especially after Shannon left, yeah, that shit just got redundant, bro, because he's just like max tier glazer and hater, bro. But yeah, man, I'll miss him, I guess. Or not him. I'll just miss the funny ass clips, because there'll be some funny shit that he says, bro. So I'll miss that shit. But great video by the Low Post. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll drop another video soon.